the story here isn't that they potentially took Russian money. The story here is that our right-wing pundits are so anti-American that they don't need to be led to hate the country or to be pro-Russian. They just need to be paid to do the exact same thing they've been doing for 5 years.
So it's seeming like a situation where they loved being deceived. This was not an inconvenience in the slightest. In fact, it seemed like they didn't give a fuck if they were being deceived because the checks were fucking being collected. Guess what, guys? We're getting a call from our boy Artchad. Hello.
Gang, what's up?
Not much, man. Okay, so what is going on with Tim Pool exactly?
What is going on with Tim Pool?
Yeah,
that's the craziest question anyone's ever asked me. Here's the full story. Let me try to break this down proper style. Let me pull out my doc here on this.
Okay.
So I can give you a little chronological to the best of my knowledge. There are 2 Russian nationals from Russia Today, which is Russia's state media.
Right.
Okay. RT. Everyone knows it. The green logo that says RT.
J-Reg's been on RT, yeah.
J-Reg has been featured on RT.
Mm-hmm.
Their names, I'm going to read these to the best of my ability. Konstantin Kalashnikov and Alina Afasyeva.
Okay.
So, they contact Lauren Chen and her husband to start a media company based out of Tennessee. These are 2 Russian nationals. Lauren Chen is Canadian. Her husband's Canadian, I believe. To start a media company out of Tennessee. And the media company is called Tenet Media. And they hire 6 right-wing pundits to produce original content as well as license existing content.
Okay.
So Tim Pool, which is one of them, along with Lauren Southern, Dave Rubin, Aaron Christensen, Benny Davidson, I forget the name, and then one more, Tyler something. There were 6 of them.
Okay, so we got.
But the most important here are Dave Rubin, Tim Pool, and Lauren Southern.
Okay.
Tim Pool had a show called Culture War. It was a podcast show which existed before Tenet Media, and
yeah,
already exists. So they were licensing and basically cross-posting Culture War onto the Tenet Media YouTube page, but he was also producing original content, as well as Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, which is really big for right-wing boomers. They love their Facebook content.
Right. Okay. I see.
So they're paying specifically in the indictment from the DOJ, referring to Commentator 1 and Commentator 2,
right,
which respectively is. Let me see if I can find the number here. Commentator 1, I believe, is Tim Pool. Commentator 2 is Dave Rubin. They were producing original content for Tenet Media, the YouTube page, and getting paid $100,000 per video for 4 videos a month, totaling about around $5 million each a year, by Lauren Chen, who owns Tenet Media, being paid by the Russian nationals from Russia Today.
Okay.
Right? And the whole goal with this project from Russia was to get these commentators to push a pro-Russian narrative.
Right.
Or allegedly, this is the perceived goal. We don't really know what the goal is, because with the Russians, it's always random shit. They just want Russia's wet dream is that America erupts in a race war and destroys itself internally.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So it's not just about in specific context to the Russia-Ukraine war, making sure Ukraine looks bad and Russia looks good. It's about if you go to their Instagram page or to the TikTok, it's they're running anti-trans stories. They're running stories about I saw one that was just a compilation of people in a grocery store with face masks on, being look how dumb these people are, how fucked up. Look how stupid the American public is, right? They're so stupid. That's the story Tenet Media was running, which is par for the course with right wingers.
Right, but okay, so what exactly was the deal that Tim Pool had? Like, how much money was he making each month or whatever? Like, I'm kind of confused as to, because the claim, right, is that the Tim Pool's claim is that he was not aware, right? Like, he just claims ignorance, right? That he didn't understand that there was ties to Russia, whatever. But I'm trying to get a grasp for like what exactly was the payout. You know what I mean?
He didn't know what was going on. Like he wasn't.
He
it was
claims
all.
that.
Yeah, allegedly, it was only Lauren Chen who was aware that there was actual Russians involved. He was just getting paid $100,000 a video.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I do believe that. I do believe like they didn't know, like Dave Rubin, Lauren Southern, Tim Pool didn't know that they were getting the money was coming from Russia. But
why do you believe that?
Because it's just like they weren't running anything particularly. Here's the truly fucked up part of the story.
Okay.
Which Russia has been meddling in our elections and has like had campaigns against the US for so long. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. What is fucked up is that they didn't pay Tenet Media to get these people to push a pro-Russian narrative they wouldn't have already pushed. Okay. They are already anti-American. They're already sowing the seeds of dissent in the country.
Right.
So all they're doing is basically taking these people who are already so prime to shit on America, to say like, oh, the West is fallen, we're all fucked up, we're all disgusting, degenerate, our culture has gone decadent. They're already saying that. Russia is just chiming in and making sure they keep saying it.
Okay, and like, okay, so I can get that where it's like, okay, Tim Pool will accept the money, Lauren Southern will accept the money, Dave Rubin will accept the money, because it's nothing, they're not being, told to say something they wouldn't normally say. But at the same time, they definitely have to be aware that there's something weird about the fact that they're getting paid. You said $100K a video. You said
no. This is what's fucking insane is that if you go to the YouTube page on like it's taken down now. YouTube took
Tenet, right?
YouTube took Tenet Media down and Lauren Chen's personal page down.
Whoa.
You go to like.
Tim Pool could get nuked, bro.
He's still up. Lauren Southern is still. Let me actually double check. See if
wow,
change.
They could get nuked.
They could get nuked. But they weren't posting. It was only Tenet Media. It wasn't Tim Pool.
Right.
It was only him. Like there was a separate YouTube channel called Tenet Media that this content was being posted to. That got taken down. But Tim Pool's like. The content on Tim Pool's YouTube channel or Lauren Southern's YouTube channel wasn't compromised. It was being posted on Tenet Media.
I see. So they were making content for Tenet Media for like an ungodly amount of money. Is that right?
Yeah. Okay. And then what's funny too is that like if I go to like the Rubin Report on YouTube right now, it's all still up. Mm-hmm. What's funny is that the Tenet Media videos are getting. It's the kind of like all these channels do the same thing, like Tim Pool, Rubin, where they're posting 10 videos a day.
Right.
And we have to start with the obvious.
The Tenet Media page is getting like from anywhere from like 1,000 to 10,000 views a video.
Right. So not much.
Like there's nothing on there. Yeah, exactly. Like Dave Rubin's video is getting posted to Tenet Media. For his original content for the program. It's getting 2.6K views.
Right.
And he's getting paid $100K for it.
Yeah.
From Tenet, and then Tenet's getting money from Russia.
Yeah, so I mean, like they can claim that they had no idea, whatever, but obviously it's a case, if that's even remotely true, obviously it's a case of like insane fucking willful ignorance. But yeah, I'm just trying to understand, like, okay, so how did this exactly get exposed in the DOJ? Can you I'm confused how this even got unearthed, right? Because I don't know, there's other countries who definitely do stuff similar to this, and so I don't know how this one got exposed.
Let's see. Let me read the.
Here, can you link if you have the article? Let me link it.
Yeah, I'll link you the exact. I'll link you the indictment.
Okay.
There we go. The exact copy of the indictment on Discord there. RT, formerly known as Russia Today, is state-controlled media outlet funded and directed by government of Russia. After Russia invaded Ukraine in February 22, RT was sanctioned, dropped by distributors, and ultimately forced to cease formal operations in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, and European Union. In response, RT created, in the words of its editor-in-chief, an entire empire of covert projects designed to shape public opinion in Western audiences. One of RT's covert projects, as described herein, is its funding and direction of a Tennessee-based online content creation company.
Right.
Over the last year, RT and its employees, including Kostylin, the Russian names I mentioned before that are like fucking impossible to pronounce.
Yeah.
Kostya and Lena, the defendants of this indictment here, have deployed nearly 10 million, laundered through a network of foreign shell entities to covertly fund and direct U.S. company one, which is Tenet Media. U.S. company Tenet Media publishes English language videos on multiple social media channels, including TikTok, Instagram, X, and YouTube, using multiple fake personas. Lena and Kostya edited, posted, and directed the posting of Tenet Media hundreds of videos. Many of the videos published by U.S. I keep saying in the indictment it says like U.S. company one.
Yeah.
Many of the videos published by Tenet Media contained commentary on events and issues in the United States, such as immigration, inflation, and other topics related to domestic and foreign policy. While the views expressed in the videos are not uniform, the subject matter and content of the videos are often consistent with the government of Russia's interest in amplifying U.S. domestic divisions in order to weaken U.S. opposition to core government of Russian interests, such as the ongoing war in Ukraine. So that's the two opening paragraphs there.
I see. And so is there any like smoking gun like clip of Tim Pool basically being pro-Russia in a Tenet video? Or is Tim Pool just generally pro-Russia? I've heard some people saying that now as soon as this got released, Tim Pool just completely 180'd like hard, and now he has like Ukraine in his fucking bio because he's a little fucking salamander and he's just going to adapt to what'll harm him the least or help him the most.
I looked into that. That's ironic. That was like he changed that after he did a podcast. I listened to the podcast released yesterday. He changed it like ironically, but in the podcast he's like, I'm now like it's very clear it's ironic. He's like, I'm now pro Ukraine. We need to spend $200 billion immediately to make sure Ukraine. Yeah, that was a bit. I do have a video of Ben Johnson. I can pop in your chat here. I gotta put it in the.
I have someone sent me a video of Tim Pool hysterically banging a table, shouting, "Ukraine is the enemy of this country." He didn't know he was working for a company that took 10 million US in black bag payments from Russia, guys. Horrible coincidence. We've all been there. Okay, wait up. We gotta watch this clip. Here we go.
Yeah, this is Ben Johnson with Destiny on Piers Morgan.
Okay, one sec.
But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine. They are expanding this war. Now, don't get me wrong. I know you've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do. Ukraine is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, triggering this conflict. Ukraine is the greatest threat to this nation and to the world. We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military support, and we should apologize to Russia. Know it.
That's wild. I just watched a clip of Tim Pool basically actually like unironically fucking going to bat for Russia, which irregardless of that opinion, it's surprising to me to hear Tim Pool saying that because he's just fucking known to be basically like a fake centrist or whatever you would say. Usually he's not so overt about his fucking bias or his preference or whatever. And so, yeah, okay. And so he's saying things like this while simultaneously basically accepting payments from some weird laundered fucking Russian company. Let me see what you sent me. It's a clip. You sent me a clip with Destiny. Is that right?
Okay, yeah, it's Destiny and Ben Johnson and Piers Morgan.
Gotcha.
By those policies, Let's not even talk about how what Joe Biden has done to the world stage. Donald Trump brought world peace. You're going to talk about Kurds and wars? How about Ukraine? Joe Biden could have stopped that war before it even started. Joe Biden continues that war and continues the funding of that war that is leading to the wholesale slaughter of an entire region. Joe Biden could stop it right now. Joe Biden has brought war around the world. And then let's talk about the...
Okay, so that's just a clip of him basically saying that the Ukraine war shouldn't have started, right? And so that guy is also receiving funding, or is he just like working for Tim Pool? What's the lore with that guy?
Oh no, he's one of the people under Tenet Media. So he's one of the people who directly received money from Russia through Tenet Media.
This is one of the
unbeknownst to him, like he didn't know.
Right. Okay. So the question really is basically, did these people receive funding from Russia just because they were already on the wave of supporting Russian interests? Or did they receive funding and then coalesce with the expectation, which was that they would basically shill for Russia? And in my head, I'm imagining that the relationship was probably somewhere in between. Like Tim Pool was probably like slightly leaning in toward, supporting Russia. I think that guys like Dave Rubin, and even to a smaller extent, I guess Tim Pool, I don't think they actually have too concrete of fucking actual opinions. So the second that there was like money and encouragement through like mass amounts of fucking money, they just completely went willfully ignorant. And despite them almost guaranteed being able to, like, if they did just the smallest mental math, being able to tell that they're receiving unreal amounts of fucking money from foreign governments, I think that they just basically took the money and were like, fuck it, I'll lean a little bit harder into hating on Ukraine.
I mean, yeah, they were already there.
Yeah.
It wasn't that big of a stretch. I mean, they didn't really. This is what's frustrating if you listen to what's really revealing if you listen to Tim Pool's comment on the thing on his podcast episode. He says, like, I didn't change. Like, no one told me to change what I was doing. No one told me to run certain stories. I just continued how I was doing, and then I got posted on Tenet Media.
Right.
And what that says to me is that you were already there. You're already so anti-American that Russia just paid you to make the same fucking shit you were making.
Well, the weird thing is that they obviously are framing it as them being patriots, right? Like, basically they're framing it as, supporting the Ukraine war is the anti-American stance. So they're in their heads, the justification, potentially the cope, is like, are you telling me that I'm going to get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to be a patriot? Obviously that's not necessarily the reality. I really wish... Fuck, man. I feel like where there's smoke, there must be fire, right? Like, there has to be something juicier than just like, oh, it might be the case that Tim Pool, like, I don't know. Is this 100% proof that Tim Pool is a fucking just blatant grifter shill? Or what exactly is your interpretation of what this means?
I mean, he doesn't think he is. Like, he didn't know he was receiving.
This is psychotic.
He just
Ukraine
thought that some media company in Tennessee was paying him money unlike what he's ever seen in astronomical. I mean, like, we both do YouTube. $100,000 for a video.
No,
dude, like $100,000 from an integrated sponsorship for a video is
the enemy of this country. Ukraine.
No, that's like 10. I'm trying to think. If I got $100,000 for a video, would be like 5 million views. I think like that's what that would be worth if I got a CPM deal from fucking Manscaped.
Right.
The video would have to be like 5 million views to get $100,000. Like, that much money per video is fucking unheard of.
Yeah.
And for the video to get 2,000 views, like, that's like $10 in AdSense. You know, it's fucking baffling. I think at the end of the story here isn't that they potentially took Russian money. The story here is that our right-wing pundits are so anti-American that they don't need to be led to hate the country or to be pro-Russian. They just need to be paid to do the exact same thing they've been doing for 5 years. Yeah.
I mean, let me think, right? Okay. How obvious? How obvious was it that it was like Tenet Media was Russian?
No, not at all. It wasn't
I see.
obvious. Like Tenet was run by Lauren Chen and her husband, and they were getting paid. They knew that the money they were receiving was from Russia Today. It was being laundered through fake names and shell corporations, and there was a guy named Edward Gregorian. This is in the indictment. It's a fake name, and it was like they had made up this fake character of this guy who was like a European, like he was like like from Brussels, I think. He was like a Belgian or a German.
So stupid. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, who was giving them money because it's like his passion project. But he's a fake, like being literally funded? A fake person. Like the name doesn't exist. There's not even like a fake profile on him. Like if you look up the name Edward Gregorian, there's nothing. So they couldn't even try hard enough to make a fake internet persona. They just used a fake name one time. I mean, like, there's a red flag. If someone came up to me and said, like, hey, Artchad, we love what you make. Let's do 4 videos a month that are live stream clips, basically.
Yeah.
We're going to be $100K for every video. I'd be like, hey, am I like a white monkey right now? Am I doing shit for China? Like, it's fucked up.
Yeah, no, I see. Okay. Man. Okay, let me just check real quick. What does Ben Shapiro, like, what does the Daily Wire think of this, right? Because I would imagine that the Daily Wire would be potentially an outlet that would work with Tenet Media, but maybe they could smell that it was fishy? Like, I'm trying to see. How many people were actually caught in this web? Let me see. Okay, here. Okay, Ben Shapiro has a whole bit, actually, about this. Holy fuck, that's interesting. Okay. One sec. Holy fuck, this guy tweets a lot, man. Sheesh. Have there been any people who've reacted that, like, were particularly interesting to you?
Destiny was pretty good. He pretty much had the same take. I mean, Destiny's take on Ukraine is that the principle of we should fight for the principle of, like, Russia shouldn't be allowed to invade any country outside of its borders, no matter how insignificant it is. Whether it's like, Ukraine is the most, from a right-wing perspective, from like a very skeptical Ukraine war perspective, Ukraine was the most corrupt European country, like bar none. It's like you could look that up,
right?
And then Eastern Ukraine was like the poorest, most corrupt part of Europe on the European continent. And even still, the fact that Russia is invading any territory that they don't own already into the European continent is grounds enough to fight back. And America is like a global, the world police, global hegemonic power. And on that principle, we should always fight a war. We should be in Ukraine. We should be funding the war in Ukraine.
That's Destiny's take?
Yeah, which I stand with. I stand with that take. I think that's pretty principled. Like, that's.
Would you say that's? Yeah, go on.
Well, it's either that or, like, Russia just walks into the Donbass region, takes Eastern Ukraine, and then, like, doesn't do anything else. Stays exactly where they were. That makes no sense. So I think we're doing the right. Like, I'm pro defending Ukraine on the principle of, like, defending the borders that exist right now.
Right, yeah. Do you think this is like a moral stance, or what's like the backing of this? Is it more like you want to do what's in the best interest of America, what's in the best interest of Ukraine, or what's like the angle? The best interest of, like, just humanity?
Definitely the best interest of the West. I mean, we're fucking Canadian. I can't say best interest of the US.
Yeah.
But best interest of the West, like, we're, by extension, Canada, US, we are the world police. The movie Team America, World Police. That's a good movie. It's objectively true. And they should be. It should remain true because no other country is going to do it. No other country is going to You know, if Russia had invaded like Finland or Estonia or Lithuania, Latvia, like any of the like Georgia, any of the countries that borders, it's like it's not that it's Ukraine, it's that like this country that we're vehemently against ideologically and that is also vying for global hegemonic power is invading a country that it doesn't already have control over. And on the principle of that, we should exercise our power to prevent that from happening. So I am, as long as there is a war in Ukraine, I'm absolutely pro getting involved into it.
Okay.
But I think to say that, like, I know Tim Pool's position is that like America should not be we shouldn't intervene in any war. We should be like an isolationist country and pull back and things. I'm like, that's stupid. That's fucked up. We should not be. We should exercise our power over the world as much as possible because we're the best country to do it. It's either us or it's fucking Russia or China. It's like we don't live in a utopia where you can pick, like, obviously there is a better, you know, if you in your head there's a better world where the US isn't as fucked up as it is and there's a better country running the planet. But that is not the case. It's the US, it's Russia, or it's China. Which one of those three do you want to be the hegemonic power of the fucking planet?
Right. I see. Okay. Yeah.
The world's largest gay cruise.
Yes. Oh, you saw that? Yeah. It was just linked to me by Blue Knives, one of my friends. He's claiming that this is what Ben Johnson or whatever is known for. The world's largest gay cruise. I have no idea. But sorry, I just sent you a post by Ben Shapiro. I know that much. And let me unpack this because JJ was talking to me about this and I'm kind of confused what exactly is going on. Okay. This is correct. At Dave Rubin and Tim Cast and Benny Johnson aren't the issue here. They were apparently deceived by the company founders who were allegedly taking Russian cash. See, like, this is just trying to basically wash these guys' hands of any fucking accountability. It's like, is there no obligation to know where money is coming from when it's being offered to you? I guess this would be like a bit of a moral claim, but at the same time, it's also like to say that they were deceived, right? I don't imagine it's very hard for somebody to be deceived when they are receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars for not much work at all, right? So it's seeming like a situation where they loved being deceived. This was not an inconvenience in the slightest. In fact, it seemed like they didn't give a fuck if they were being deceived because the checks were fucking being collected. Let's see real quick. What are the oh my god, underneath, Elon Musk is also running defense for these fucking guys. Elon Musk running defense for fucking Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and our boy Benny Johnson. Damn. Whether or not Dave Rubin or Tim Cast knew they were Russian stooges is immaterial. Russia thought that what they were saying was aligning with their interests and was willing to pay a lot of money to keep the disinformation flowing. That should unsettle you.
Yes.
Yeah. It is an issue when influencers with large audiences are being paid huge sums of money to promote certain content/ideas, and it isn't disclosed. This shouldn't be controversial. Advertisements are one thing, massive undisclosed payments are another. That's fucking facts. We should want honesty in conservative media, not defend this stuff. I think that's just facts. I mean, if they claim to have any fucking principles in the slightest, obviously I would agree with that. They should release their comms with Tenet and their reps for full transparency. Oof, that would be fucking juicy. I imagine they will not be doing that, but it would be great to see if they did. Oh, man. The public should know the story. They should also pay back the money. I doubt that's going to happen. No concern that Russia was keen to promote it, though. It still speaks volumes to them being garbage sources of information, because one, their content... Fuck. One sec. Their content was seen as useful by Russia. 2, they were willing to be paid for content. 3, they did a terrible job of vetting the money. Yeah, no kidding. I don't think they gave a fuck. If I were their fan, I would stop watching their content. Alright, lol. My friends were just parroting Russian media propaganda verbatim because they believe it, not because they were paid. The absolute state of right-wing media. Yeah, no kidding. Ben Shapiro defending Russian assets. What a day to be alive. Interesting. Okay. And so the claim here is the indictment alleges that the founders of the company, Lauren Chen and her husband, intentionally deceived the influencers mentioned below. Right. Regarding the source of funding. Okay. So they worked together with Tenet Media by falsely portraying to commentators 1 and 2 that U.S. Company 1, Tenet Media, was sponsored by a private investor named Eduard Grigorian. Okay. Right. I see. So they were just receiving, in their heads, they were just receiving money from like some affluent fucking idiot. In truth and in fact, Grigorian was a fictional persona. For example, during contract negotiations, Tim Pool or Dave Rubin requested that Founder 1, which was Lauren Chen or the other guy, provide a profile or article on Eduard Grigorian. In response, Founder 1 sent Tim Pool or Dave Rubin a one-page profile provided to Founder 1 by another fictional persona purporting to represent Eduard Grigorian, falsely describing him as an accomplished finance fucking professional. Okay. Yeah. Sure. All right. Founder 1 is Lauren Chen, I see. Who gained these contacts working for RT. Cool.
She's also, like, she's Canadian. She's not even American.
It's weird, man. It's weird, isn't it?
Like she's like triple dipping into the foreign meddling here. Of being a Canadian with a Tennessee-based company getting money from Russia is fucked up.
Right. Man, wow. I won't pretend this is shocking, but it should open some eyes. The U.S. Department of Justice alleges that Tenet Media, which has Benny Johnson, Tim Pool, and Dave Rubin on its roster, received $10 million from the Russian government to publish content as part of Russian influence operation. Tenet is owned and controlled by Lauren Chen. Man, okay, and so, man, are these people going to go to jail? Like, what exactly is the repercussion of this? Is it just like a pat on the ass?
So the indictment right now is the 2 Russian nationals versus the U.S. That's the indictment. It's an allegation, like there's going to be a trial for them. Lauren Chen and her husband, who started Tenet Media, have not been charged or indicted yet. But they are probably going to. I would assume so. I would hope so. They are going to be charged because they, as far as I understand from this indictment, they are complicit in the entire thing.
Yeah, no kidding. Man. Okay, and Lauren Chen has lost her YouTube channel. Tenet Media lost their YouTube channel. And
she had like 500K, and she wasn't big. Like, she's not like a Lauren sub. Like, she's smaller than any of the right-wing YouTube channels that are mentioned. Like, she's tiny.
Wow.
She had like 400K on YouTube and like 60K on IG. Like, she's not big.
But she had a dream and an ambition to make money, and she succeeded potentially in that effort.
No, you know what's funny is that according to based on the information in the indictment, is that the Tenet Media received $10 million and $9.7 million was paid out to the commentators they had hired. So,
damn.
According to the finances in the indictment, which is all we know, Lauren Chen only took home $300,000.
So maybe she was sincere. Maybe she really did believe in the Russian cause, you know?
Yeah, she like really wanted. She's like, I'll do it for free. Fuck it.
Yeah. Oh man, that's hilarious. Holy shit. Okay, all right. Is there anything else you've unearthed here that you think is worth like pointing out or of note?
Just anti-American, just anti-Westerner fucks, just people who hate our country, who think that the West is over. You know, the it's so over bros. The West is declining. The graph is going down. If you can consult can you look up if you would please consult the graphs.
Okay.
Chud meme.
Yeah.
Look that meme up. I think if you look up, if you would please consult the graphs, it would come up.
Yeah. If you would please consult the graphs. Oh, I see. This fucking loser. Yeah. Holy shit. Just like the little nerd guy?
Yeah, put that on screen.
Alright, yeah. I see it. If you would please consult the graphs. The most fucking Spock-looking bitter fuck.
Wait, where's it? Are the graphs behind him? Is that it?
Oh, wait, this is what came up on Know Your Meme. Let me find Google Images.
Yeah, go to Google Images. There's one with with some grass behind him that are important.
Okay, I see. The West is fallen, right?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Okay. This is great. Holy shit.
Yeah, there we go. This is them. This is Tim Pool and Dave Rubin. This is their fucking gambit. It's a society collapsing, going up, the West fallen, going down. If you would please consult the graphs. They fucking have no belief in the future of the country. They have nothing. And they're so easily taken over and manipulated by Russia that Russia didn't need to do fucking anything. They just needed to pay them to make sure they would do the same thing they've been doing for 5 fucking years.
Facts, bro. I mean, look, okay, let me just give my actual 2 cents here. I've been sketched out, I've been skeptical of Tim Pool for fucking years now, okay? The thing that I remember that really gave me a bad vibe was him selling fucking doomsday food slop buckets. He was selling like those like bomb shelter fucking like survival preparation slop buckets to his audience, while simultaneously basically saying in almost every video, or heavily implying, America's going to have a civil war. Buy guns. Oh my God, this country's going to shit. I can't believe it. So basically, you have this guy who positions himself as like a fucking moderate or a centrist or even a fucking Democrat, right? Isn't that hilarious? He'll basically say like, I'm a liberal or whatever, but these are... And so you have this fucker who is taking this angle of like, usually I'd be on this side, but holy shit, have you seen how crazy things are getting? And this guy, since he has like this kind of strangely like rational, aesthetic going for him, this like impartial third party aesthetic, he manages to whisper into the ears of so many grandmothers, so many like people who are not even that political, and just make them fucking nervous, make them like uneasy, you know what I mean? Like stoke the fucking fires and the embers that make people actually like, hysteric about politics. And so many people have made videos about Tim Pool. The best I think that I've seen is the one by Hey It's Vadim. Okay, this is a legendary OG YouTuber, and this fucking guy, I can't believe that his video about Tim Pool didn't get more views, but he successfully exposed that one of the documentaries that Tim Pool popped off for, okay, like actually got him his start as an independent documentarian, all right, because everyone, or not everyone, but a lot of people know Tim Pool from his days at Vice. He did a couple documentaries for Vice. Well, when he went independent at Vice, he decided to do a documentary on the Swedish immigration crisis, okay, and he went with a camera woman and he recorded a bunch of stuff. Little did he know, useful stooge Tim, he ends up netting a bunch of interviews with effectively far-right extremist, borderline neo-Nazi party representatives within Sweden, who are, of course, painting a fucking insanely, brutally pessimistic picture of the future of Sweden and the current immigration system in Sweden. And the cherry on top is that this Vadim dude actually gets in contact with the camera woman who went to Sweden with Tim Pool, okay? And she provides Vadim with footage, the actual, behind the scenes footage, whatever, of this documentary being made. And there's a point in the documentary that was officially released where it was framed as though like some immigrants were following, the cast or whatever. And they were like, there was like a moment of kind of tension or excitement or whatever, where basically they're like, oh fuck, we're being followed right now. These fucking hooligans in the street, whatever. And when Vadim received the actual footage, unedited, of this occurring, there was just nothing. It was just complete cap. Like, he was literally just fucking lying. Completely sensationalizing an event that just didn't happen. And so ever since that, I really did understand that whether Tim Pool is sincere, whether Tim Pool actually believes in whatever message he's peddling, he is someone who is willing to fucking lie and obscure and do whatever the fuck he has to do. Not just to push his message that he might or might not actually give a fuck about, but much more than that, to get the fucking views, to get the fucking money. Okay, it was his first documentary, in this case, where he was an independent, and so it needed to make a splash. What better way to make a splash than by going to Sweden? Everyone's talking about how all these fucking are happening by, you know, immigrants in Sweden, whatever. He goes there and he collects information that will completely fucking serve his thesis and basically, you know, satisfy the demographic that he's targeting, which was right-wingers. He was trying to court them, and he has succeeded. And this is just, in my head, the natural deviation of Tim Pool's fucking pathology is, yeah, okay, I'm receiving a fucking unreal amount of money for doing barely any work. I'm not even going to question it. I don't give a fuck. And to say that, you know, he was completely unaware, that he didn't know anything, whatever, I think, in my head, I think that's probably cap. Like, he was definitely, at the very least, at least somewhat aware that there was, you know, a condition to him receiving money. And even though he might not have gone down the rabbit hole all the way just to protect himself, he certainly did not, you know, he didn't do, I would say he didn't do anything that I wouldn't have expected him to do. But yeah, that's pretty much my fucking thoughts.